Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler, and you can guess what we're looking at this time. The first Star Wars 3D Blu-ray finally getting a US release. It seems as though really The Force Awakens in 2016 is really kind of putting home video collectors through their paces. And we are now going to be looking at yet another set of releases, pair of releases in this case this time, for The Force Awakens. Just to make sure we're all on the same page here, recall that in our episode specifically on The Force Awakens back in April of 2016, we took a look at the fact that they did that little pre-order thing with the little poster prints. That there was a regular Blu-ray, DVD, digital combo pack for the US, which, while available everywhere, also had a version from the Disney Store which came with a big old packet of lithographs. Or maybe you decided to get an exclusive elsewhere, such as through Target, where you had some exclusive bonus features and a weird cardboard container. Or maybe you went to Wal-Mart for the little Velcro BB-8 case with the regular case inside that also came with one of those little Star Wars Connections discs. Or perhaps you went fancy schmancy and went to Best Buy and got that Steelbook edition. Or perhaps you don't have a Blu-ray player yet, you just wanted the film on DVD, so you picked up that as a standalone release. We've also looked at a trio of foreign releases for The Force Awakens, all from the UK, including a DVD release, and 2 Blu-ray only releases in the light side packaging and the dark side packaging. All 3 of those, of course, from the UK, coming in thanks to viewer Julian Smith. So, wow, that's a lot of copies of The Force Awakens already, whether we're talking about adding in those UK ones in my collection, or just the ones from the US. But of course, it was a film that was released in theaters in 3D. But there were no 3D discs for 3D Blu-ray at the time. Gosh, wonder if they're gonna double dip this sucker. Well, double dip they did. It is Star Wars after all. About 7 months after the original home video release of The Force Awakens, we finally got this. I say 7 months because in the US it was held until November. Some places got it at the end of October, just not this region. We got Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D Collector's Edition, which is a Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray, DVD, and digital HD combo pack here. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. You flip it around, it looks like it's got a back on it. This is actually just the packaging that it had. That's just something that's going to slip off here as a piece of cardboard. Most people are going to just throw this away. I'm hanging on to them just to have it as part of the collection. The actual box here is really, really nice. You have this lenticular cover on the front, right, with the lightsaber ignited, with the Starkiller base, woods behind it, the logo there with 3D nice and bold, collector's edition up at the top, nothing on the bottom there. You have a side that looks really nice in a collection, Star Wars The Force Awakens 3D. The back is essentially empty with the exception of copyright information down there on the bottom. And then this is actually a slipcase, so that is the edge, the spine, of what's inside it. Star Wars, The Force Awakens 3D, Blu-ray logo at the top, Lucasfilm logo there at the bottom. On the front, you have Kylo Ren versus Rey. On the back, you have Rey and Finn running away from the First Order attack on Jakku. You open it up. You have Han and Chewie, right? We're home. You open it the rest of the way up. You'll see that there are 4 discs in this set. There are also inserts. You're going to have one insert that's going to give you a code for new bonus material. You will have another insert with BB-8 on it. We'll talk more about this momentarily, but this gives you the film with its commentary. Again, we'll come back to the codes. So inside, what are these discs? Well, first off, you have a Blu-ray copy of the film itself. That's this. Now you'll notice this disc is different than the original. The original disc was this one. Now, Usually, I would have expected this to just be a reissue of the exact same disc, or maybe the exact same disc with a different label on it. That is not the case. This original version is the film with no commentary by J.J. Abrams, just a regular bare-bones version of the film, albeit on Blu-ray. This one, right, with the X-Wings on it from the new release in November, this one does have a commentary by J.J. Abrams on it. So these are not interchangeable. For once, they're not just reissuing the same disc in a new package yet again, at least for Blu-ray this time. You also then have a disc full of bonus content. Again, this is the new one. This is the old one. New labels, once again, new content, or added content in this case, on the disc. So these aren't interchangeable either. We'll talk more about which of the specific bonus features are on which discs and where you get them, where they came from, that sort of thing, momentarily also. You also have a DVD copy of the film, which is this, which is the equivalent to, from the earlier release, this one, which was in that standalone DVD release and in each of those American combo packs. These are identical. No new audio commentary. Same disc, reissued, very much like we saw the same disc of the 2004 classic trilogy version being released in 2004, 2005, 2008 with the same disc over and over again. These are identical. Of course, the big special thing is that there's another Blu-ray in there, which is a 3D Blu-ray. There we go. Nice art there with Kylo Ren. Though, isn't that the shot that was in the trailer that they took out of the movie? Okay, whatever. But we have Blu-ray 3D off to the side there. It says 3D nice underneath the title, as you would expect. Going back to those other discs, you basically just have J.J. Abrams talking with Harrison Ford there for the bonus disc. And as I mentioned, the X-Wings for the film disc. The inside of the package, then, when you open it up, gives you an image of Rey and Han in the Millennium Falcon as they're going to hyperspace. Alright, so let's talk about what you get with this set. I know a lot of people are wondering whether this is something that they should buy, whether this is something that's just repurchasing things they already have. Is it something that they should bother to pick up? Let's run it down. On the original release, again, on the Blu-ray, no commentary. The new release does have commentary by J.J. Abrams. Now, note that the commentary is only on the regular Blu-ray from the collector's edition. Right? It is not on the 3D Blu-ray from the collector's edition. The 3D Blu-ray is just a 3D version of the film, which, by the way, looks fantastic. If you have a 3D television at home, I've got one of those PlayStation 3D displays that they branded as PlayStation when it came out from Sony. Ran about $400, I think. I got mine for about $200 on sale at Best Buy. Love that thing. It's a really good 3D conversion. It wasn't filmed in 3D, but they did the post-conversion on it. So basically, it's all in 3D. It gives you depth. I would say, actually, that with The Force Awakens, if you didn't see it in 3D in theaters, it's not so much that things jump out at you, except there's a couple of shots of, like, the finalizer, the Star Destroyer, that really seems like it's sticking out of the screen. But it's more the depth going in. You watch, for instance, the final battle, the final lightsaber duel on Starkiller Base, and you can really tell a depth to the woods. It's almost like you could reach into your television and keep reaching to be able to get to the background of what you're seeing. Lots of great depth, but it's usually going inward rather than towards you. It's also a very clear, good-looking 3D transfer. Sometimes, depending on the way that they deal with it, sometimes it can get kind of blurry when I try to watch a 3D film on this TV, and it looks great this time around. Nice and crisp. A lot of folks, though, aren't going to be buying this for the 3D Blu-ray because they don't have a 3D television. A lot of people, though, have 3D Blu-ray players whether they realize it or not. An Xbox One, a PlayStation 3, or a PlayStation 4 will play 3D Blu-rays, but you have to have a 3D television to do it. Otherwise, if you don't have a game system that I mentioned, then a 3D Blu-ray player will be required to be able to watch it along with that 3D television. I believe it also requires a high-speed HDMI cable, which is what a lot of the newer ones are, but back in the day, you had to actually get a special HDMI cable to make sure it could handle the feed. But it gives you a stereoscopic 3D experience. Stereoscopic meaning that each eye is getting a different image, and your eyes are essentially getting both, and then your brain is processing them together. Just like regular eyesight, right? You know, this eye and this eye aren't seeing exactly the same thing. They're slightly off kilter from each other, right? That's why you can do this thing, and it's like the image is slightly changing of what you see, because they're both slightly differently positioned. Essentially, that's what's happening, and the amount of difference that they give to something in stereoscopic 3D will determine how far away or close it winds up looking. You know, like the Blackthorn comics back in the day, right? That's stereoscopic 3D. You know, with these super sexy glasses. For 3D Blu-ray and 3D movies, we've basically replaced these with these, which, thankfully, can be worn over glasses. These days, the 3D effect is handled in a couple of different ways. For instance, in movie theaters, you've got just standard glasses. They're kind of plastic. This is actually from the Force Awakens 3D release, still sealed up. But you have ones like the ones from my Sony system here that basically are powered, and they have different filters for the different eyes that get darker and filter out a specific stream that's coming in. If you are into 3D gaming and you have a PlayStation 3 and want to do some simul view, you can actually do that on that TV as well, but honestly, there aren't many games that actually allow it. But nice, solid glasses for the Sony 3D TVs. And I should note here, for those who are considering a PlayStation VR, which I love, by the way, fantastic piece of hardware, even though it has a cinematic mode to be able to watch basically giant screen movies when you're wearing the helmet, or the HMD, the head-mounted display, it does not do 3D Blu-rays in that particular mode yet. They say there might be support for that someday. It doesn't yet. So a PlayStation 4 can play 3D Blu-rays on a 3D TV. It will not play 3D Blu-rays on PlayStation VR, at least not yet. Okay, so that said, on the original release, there were a lot of bonus features. You had Secrets of the Force Awakens, a cinematic journey. You had The Story Awakens, the table read, which is kind of disappointing. Crafting Creatures, Building BB-8, Blueprint of a Battle, the Snow Fight, ILM, the Visual Magic of the Force, John Williams, the Seventh Symphony, Force for Change, and a little option to click Info, which basically tells you, hey, any opinions expressed in these are not necessarily those of blah, blah, blah. You know, normal stuff. There were also deleted scenes, which we'll get to, again, momentarily. You need to find a better way of saying that than constantly using the word momentarily. So that's the original release. On this release, the collector's edition, you get all of those, plus more. You get a new one called Foley, a Sonic Tale, a new one called Sounds of the Resistance. You get one called Dressing the Galaxy, which previously was a digital-only online exclusive for iTunes. And you get The Scavenger and the Stormtrooper, a conversation with Daisy Ridley and John Boyega, and Inside the Armory, which were previously online-only exclusives that you could only get with this different-looking version of a digital code that was only found in the Target release from April. So if you bought the Target release, you already have 2 of these special features that are new, supposedly, for the collector's edition. The ones you had as digital exclusives are now on the disc. Same thing if you have the iTunes version of the film. Yes, you already have one of the other features, Dressing the Galaxy. Now, I would note, though, that there is still a feature called Legacy that is an online exclusive for those various websites like Disney Movies Anywhere and whatnot that just about anybody can watch. You don't necessarily even need the film to pull up the Legacy video. That is not included on this release, or the previous one. That is still online only. Now, among those deleted scenes, the original version of this, the original release, without the Collector's Edition moniker on it, had several. It had Finn and the Villager, Jakku Message, X-Wings Prepare for Lightspeed, Kylo Searches the Falcon, Snowspeeder Chase, and Finn Will Be Fine. Right? All of those were on the disc. If you redeemed a digital code and have it linked to Disney Movies Anywhere, you then also already have a digital version of a deleted scene called Tunnel Standoff. That deleted scene is now on the Collector's Edition, as are 2 other new ones that are actually new to everyone, Leia and the Resistance, and Unkar Plutt at Maz's Castle. Yes, the infamous pulling off Unkar Plutt's arm scene that's found in a novelization. Now, I did note this is Blu-ray 3D, Blu-ray DVD, and Digital HD. So, what's going on with Digital HD? If you open up one of these packages, you're going to find one of these inside plastic wrap. It's got BB-8, says, leave the disc at home. Take this digital movie wherever you go. With BB-8, and it's got info on how to redeem on the back. You're going to have to peel BB-8 off of here, which has annoyed some people. Once you peel it off, you've got a little BB-8 that has your digital code on the back, and then you're left with just the card that has regular BB-8 on there, and it said, peel for digital 2D movie code. Now, a couple of things about this. This appears to unlock the movie, and the audio commentary, and I think the original bonus features. I already had them redeemed. However, because that audio commentary is new content, this is a new code as far as Disney Movies Anywhere is concerned. So if you go to Disney Movies Anywhere and redeem this code, the audio commentary will show up, and you'll get another, I think it's 200 Disney Movie reward points. So yes, you might want to go ahead and redeem that even if you've already redeemed a previous digital code. It's treated differently just like the one from Target was. You then also have another sheet that's not crazy with security. Hey, we don't want them to take some codes, so if they have X-ray vision, let's stick it in plastic wrap and stick a BB-8 on top of it. Yeah, that'll do it. Hell was that all about? Just a regular sheet this time, which has a code that gives you all the new bonus features. So yes, to get everything from the Collector's Edition in digital format, you will need both codes. It is a pair of codes here. And note again what it said up there, right? It is a 2D movie code. It is not a digital 3D version. The 3D version is only on the 3D Blu-ray. That's it. Now you might have noticed that I just held up one of these that was nice and pristine looking and has BB-8 still on it, and then I held up another one of these where I'd peeled it off. Oh, good Lord. Yes, there is a variant on this one too. That variant is this. That looks the same. Alright. Hell, that looks the same. Okay, inside? Yeah. Code, same. The BB-8 one I already pulled out, same. Discs, background, same. What's different? One little tiny frickin' lithograph. A teeny tiny little lithograph. The size that can fit inside the case without being torn up. So a very tiny little lithograph. Smaller than the little lithographs that you got from Disney Store with the original release. Smaller even than the little mini posters you got for the digital pre-order. Almost postcard size. A little bit bigger than postcard size. With nothing, by the way, on the back. This is an exclusive to Wal-Mart. If you buy the Collector's Edition at Wal-Mart, it's packaged in. Nowhere else has any exclusives, from what I could tell. Not Amazon, not Best Buy, not Target, the places you would expect to have them. Just Wal-Mart. And it's just for this thing. Yes, I have 2 copies because of that. How can you tell which ones are which? Now, you may have just seen episode 34.1 that I uploaded recently that's way earlier in the playlist, though, where we had that Walmart exclusive copy of Clone Wars: A Galaxy Divided, where it has that sticker that notes Walmart exclusive blah 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 on the cover. Well, because that was in cardboard and the shrink wrap was over the disc case inside the cardboard, they could stick the sticker just on the cardboard. This just comes in shrink wrap with everything shrink wrapped. So what you'll find, I saved it here to show you. All you're going to find is it'll have a little thing like this on the shrink wrap. It says, only at Walmart, exclusive lithograph, plus audio commentary with J.J. Abrams, which of course is not exclusive. So if you're looking for the version with the lithograph, which seems to be the only retailer exclusive for this, at least as far as I can see in the United States, keep an eye out because the one you're going to want, if it is fully sealed, still in the shrink wrap, is the one that has this sticker on it. Again, available only from Walmart, though I'm sure some will hit eBay soon if they haven't already. So, again, let's bring it back to that question about whether or not to purchase this. I would say yes. If you have a 3D television with a 3D Blu-ray player, which could be one of those game systems again, I would definitely buy it. It's a great transfer, very fun to watch in 3D. It really gets you depth into the screen, though not as much out of the screen, admittedly. And it's something that we've been wanting since the beginning. Why the hell they didn't put out the 3D Blu-ray in the first place is beyond me. Unless it was just, we'll double dip later in the year, haha, they'll buy it anyway, screw them, which has got a lot of people pissed off right now. If you want bonus features, this is the most comprehensive set of bonus features that we have. This has an audio commentary, the bonus features from the previous release, including the Target exclusive ones, and the Disney Movies Anywhere online exclusive one, and the feature that was an iTunes online exclusive. God, there's a lot of those. All kind of wrapped together, plus some new stuff, all in the one package. And it's got digital copies with it. So, this is the definitive way, at the moment, to pick up The Force Awakens. However, there is something interesting about this that is worth noting. We talk about double dipping a lot in fandom. Hey, they're going to give us this, then they're just going to repackage the same stuff later, whether it was good or crap, doesn't matter. They repackage the same thing, and now we've got a packaging variant with the same product inside. Great, we're going to have to buy it again. Or, hey, here's another release of the film with just a little bit more bonus content. They want us to buy it again, and so on and so on. Lots of multiple dips when it comes to Star Wars home video for the United States. It's gotten pretty ridiculous, as this show has shown, right? All the different versions of U.S. releases that we've looked at of all these films going all the way back to A New Hope. Holy crap, there's a lot of them. But the double dipping, it's tended to take different forms over the years. A lot of times what you would see is a release would come out, and then you'd have another release of the exact same content that's just in different packaging. Like, say, the 2011 Blu-ray Complete Saga set, and then the later reissue of that went from the Anakin packaging to the Vader packaging. Okay? Fine, so there's that kind. Or you might find a situation where you have a release that came with bonus content, and then later a reissue of that without the bonus content, but with no new bonus content. Something like where we had the 2004 box set of the original trilogy DVDs, which had the bonus disc with Empire of Dreams and whatnot, but then in 2005 they re-released the same film discs, but no bonus disc, right? Or we may have a situation where it's the same version of the movie being re-released, but with different bonus features. So, for instance, take 1997 with the special editions on VHS. You pick them up in 97, they each have the little bitty featurette that goes into what changes were made for the special editions and how. You pick up the exact same films in 2000 in those box sets, and those little featurettes are gone, but there's a special little featurette about connecting to Episode 2. Right? So, same version of the movie, different bonus features. That usually tends to be the case. Same version of the movie, different bonus features. If not, it's the one where it's same movie, same bonus features, different packaging. It's very rarely, here's something with bonus features, now haha, here's something without. This, though, this is something kind of new for Star Wars fans. It is a landmark event because this is the first time a Star Wars film has been released on home video on a 3D Blu-ray disc, which is awesome. I can't wait for them to do it, at least with the prequels, because we know those exist. 2 from showing at Star Wars conventions, and Phantom Menace from being in theaters. But, aside from being landmark for that, this is also, to my knowledge, the first time that we have seen a release of a film with lots of bonus features, and then later on they reissued the film with all the same bonus features and more, without removing stuff. This is now the definitive way to have The Force Awakens. But all these from 7 months earlier are now completely redundant. There is nothing you will find on these that you don't find on this. This is truly a case of double dipping by adding more content to convince us to rebuy something that includes all the same content as something we bought before. Not just films, but bonus content as well. For anyone who bought this version of the film back in April, there's probably going to be some frustration because to buy the 3D version, to buy the collector's edition and get all the new bonus features and the 3D disc with the commentary and everything like that, basically you are repurchasing something that you just purchased less than a year ago, which has now rendered that purchase from less than a year ago basically useless. What is the point of having it? To get the Wal-Mart one and get the little stupid-ass Connections coin disc thing? Just to have it as a steelbook? Yes, Brian, I'm looking at you. I know you want those steelbooks. It's kind of unprecedented in Star Wars. We see it with other franchises, other movies, plenty of times throughout the life cycle of home video. But for Star Wars to actually have a new release that just takes in everything from the previous release, rendering it unnecessary to own, that is both good and bad. Bad because it sets a precedent of giving us a weak edition, then a stronger edition later within a span of less than a year, and people winding up buying both of them because they want the film, so they're going to get that early edition even if a better one's coming later in the year. That's a bad precedent. On the other hand, we should keep in mind that one of the big complaints we've had over the years as Star Wars fans is that if we wanted to have all the bonus features for a Star Wars film on any particular media, whether it's DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, whatever, we had to own multiple copies that all had different bonus features, and we had to select which one we wanted to get to which bonus features we wanted. Not this time. You can simply own the collector's edition and have everything. It's just that you may now have a redundant copy or copies sitting there from April that no longer serve a purpose. So again, there's a positive side to this, but it's a shifting face of what we think of as double dipping when it comes to Star Wars home video. It's not the norm this time around. So again, what's in here? Original release, 3 discs. Blu-ray for the film, Blu-ray for the bonus features, and DVD. You also got a digital code in that one. What is in this one? 3D Blu-ray, regular Blu-ray with audio commentary this time, bonus disc with more bonus features, and again, digital content, including those new bonus features. Among those bonus features, there were originally 8, not counting deleted scenes, on the original release. There were also 2 exclusive to Target that were digital only. And there was 1 exclusive to iTunes that was digital only. Those 3, plus 2 that are all new, are now on the collector's edition on disc. You originally had 6 deleted scenes, now you have 9. And of the new 3, 2 are actually new, 1 already showed up on Disney Movies Anywhere as a digital exclusive. The digital legacy featurette that you can find online is not in this set. And if you really want to track down all the different variants, there is 1 variant this time around coming from Wal-Mart, which includes the lithograph. Everywhere else is just having the base version of the collector's edition. Should you buy it? Again, you got a 3D TV, absolute no-brainer. If you like The Force Awakens and want the bonus features, absolute no-brainer. But then what do you do with your previous copies of the film if you're not a collector like me? If you're not big on the bonus features and you just want the movie and you don't have a 3D TV, there's not really much of a point of buying this one unless you really want the audio commentary. But I would consider that a bonus feature and covered by the previous thing that I said. So congratulations, America. You already had 5 different versions of The Force Awakens released back in April. 6 if you count the fact that you had the lithographs coming from Disney Store with the regular version. Hell, even 7 if you count digital. And now you've got a couple more with the collector's edition, regular version, and Walmart version. It seems like we're getting more of these all the time. With that, though, we'll wrap up this episode. I hope this has been helpful to you in deciding whether or not to pick up the collector's edition. As always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.